Welcome back to We Call Bank. In today's episode, we're going to be talking top 10 quarterbacks. We're going to predict the award winners for the NFL: MVP, Offensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie, Defensive and Offensive Player of the Year. And then we're going to get into some over/under trivia. We're going to pick 5 players, and we're going to ask, do you think they had over or under this amount of yards or this amount of touchdowns last season? Kind of go with a little bit of trivia, and then we're going to talk about the college football expansion. I know we probably won't talk about a lot of college football, maybe when it gets to the playoffs, but we'll talk about that a little bit, and then we're going to switch over to NBA, talk about the Grant Williams sign and trade, and then DeJounte Murray getting extended by the Hawks. So,
and 2K.
And maybe the 2K cover. Now, nobody's arguing who's on it, but the cover is really they didn't put much effort into it. But, yeah, starting off, top 10 quarterbacks right now. I usually go first, so I'll let you do the honors and go first here.
All right.
Let me get my thinking cap ready for what's going to come out of your mouth.
Oh, yeah. Y'all ain't going to like number 10, especially.
You got any honorable mentions that aren't on it? That'll tell a lot.
Honorable mentions, huh?
I got 3 that I put on here for honorable mentions.
I'm trying to think. Well, I actually have 11 players here.
Okay.
But one of them is kind of like iffy. I'm trying to think of any. No, most of the quarterbacks are trash. So I'll go from 1 to 10. So number 1, you just got to put Patrick Mahomes.
Yep.
He is.
Every time, dude. Now it's a doo-doo-doo.
Okay. Patrick Mahomes, you can't deny the man's greatness. He's the greatest quarterback right now. And I feel like he's going to be the greatest quarterback for the next 3 to 4 years, maybe even longer.
I agree.
Hoping no injuries happen, hoping nothing happens with Travis or anything like that, because, that's his main object. But number 2.
That's his main object. Yeah. They're objects now. They're not even real humans.
I just mean,
what?
That's his
main target.
Yeah, target, like objective. Like,
main
okay.
object.
Yeah.
What?
All right, number 2, I feel like ain't going to be his number 2, but he was the second best quarterback the whole entire season.
If it's a bird team, I'm losing my mind.
His name is Jalen Hurts, and he honestly does deserve it. Now, could we sit there and say...
Now, let me just... Well, never mind. Just continue.
Could we sit there and say, he had a great O-line? Yes, he had the best O-line in the whole entire league.
Yep.
Could we sit there and say he had great receivers?
The best.
Yes, he had, you could say, top 3 out of the duos in the league.
Definitely.
And then, did he have just greatness as far as passing and running?
He had the best defense in the NFL.
Yeah.
Which gave him more opportunities with the football.
That is true.
The best offensive line in the NFL.
Yes.
Like he said, top 3 receiving duo in the NFL. Miles Sanders, who put over 1,000 yards. I mean,
I don't know, but if you put someone like Daniel Jones back there, I don't think that's going to do a lot.
No. Obviously, he's better than Daniel Jones, but I mean, his team was ridiculous.
I mean, yeah, he had a stat team. He had beyond a stat team, and he's going to still have a stat team this season.
Yeah.
But currently, right now, I'm just ranking him number 2. Number 3, and I don't think he's going to agree with me on this one. I don't even think my dad kind of agrees with me, but I feel like this player is better than number 4, and that's Josh Allen. All right. He deserves it. He does. I mean, now, did he also have a stat team? Yes, he did. But he didn't have as stacked as the Eagles, obviously, but he did have a pretty decent team. Now, number 4 would obviously be Joe Burrow. I got to put him up there. Is there someone else you put at 4?
Yeah.
Who?
Plays in purple.
Oh, don't worry. We're getting to him. But number 4 is Joe Burrow. And the reason I'm putting Josh Allen above Joe Burrow is because it just feels for me like Josh has more effort in his game, because he's not faster, and it's not like he does.
I think he's faster.
Yeah, but he's also bigger, and he can.
Yeah.
And it feels like he actually tries. Like, oh, okay, you know what I mean? Like, I can't throw this ball. I'm finna go run out the pocket, which Joe does. Sometimes run out the pocket, but that's his. It's just like Josh. His main objective is no matter what to score. Joe's more like,
Yeah.
where's Jamar? Where's T?
Well, I mean, tore his ACL. I mean, or I don't know if it was ACL or MCL. He tore something. So I mean, he's obviously going to
Oh
be
yeah, he did get
limited.
hurt that year, didn't he?
Yeah, he's out
So
like
I
all year.
guess that's part of the problem. Dak did too, though. Dak still rushes. He didn't rush as
Dak
much
is
as much
poor
as he
Dak,
used
man.
to.
I
Don't
think-
worry. Hold up. Did I put him in?
I think Dak is on my list.
He's
I'm
on my
pretty
list.
and a lot of people are probably going to hate that, but
Oh yeah.
I
People
think
are gonna hate my list.
I think y'all are. I mean, I'd love to have Dak. I don't think there's anything wrong with Dak, in my opinion. But
So 4 was Joe Burrow. 5 was Lamar Jackson. Now I am a big fan of Lamar. That's my second favorite quarterback, obviously. I mean, I only have 2 favorite quarterbacks, and that's Kyler and then Lamar. It's just like that. I've always been a fan of Lamar. It's just, I think it was at the end of the season, either he was injured or he just didn't want to play. It was one or the other. I think he was saying
he got
was
injured. No, he got injured,
Yeah.
and he probably could have played in the last.
Yeah, I
couple
think that's what
games,
it was. And then he
but,
didn't.
I
He just
mean,
didn't.
It wasn't really worth it.
So I can't put Lamar over Joe, even though I don't know. They're kind of tied. Number 6 is Herbert. I feel like he is that guy, and I feel like, like I said, I think it was last week whenever we did the pod, he just gets healthy receivers.
Yeah.
He's gonna be him. Number 7, he deserves it from how much he has improved, and that would be Trevor Lawrence. All right. And, he ain't played that bad last season. He played pretty decent. And if he
I
can
think
keep
everybody
that-
you've named is on my list so far.
Okay, well, I don't know if you'll name this one, but 8 is Tua. That's if he comes back from. And it's everybody's saying he is and everything like that. I know the whole concussion thing happened.
Yeah.
But if he plays exactly like he did last season, the first 5 games or whatever it was, Tua, yes,
Yeah.
Tua is easily up there, and he's probably ahead, or not probably, he's ahead of Lawrence and Herbert if he comes back the same exact way. I know he wasn't playing too hot before last season, but it don't matter.
I mean, he's got the 2 fastest players in the league on the team, so
Yeah,
that's definitely helping him. But
it is helping him. But I mean, hey, how can you help that? You know what I mean? You want winners on your team.
I like Tua.
Yeah.
I do.
Number 9 is Dak
Okay.
/ Justin Fields. That's where my honorable mention comes in, because Fields had such a great season
Wait, hold
last
on.
year.
That's your 10 or your 9?
That's my 9.
Okay.
They're like, it's one of the
Yeah, I
other,
got you.
because
I
my
got
10, I'll go ahead and say is Kyler. Kyler is my 10. But 9 is Dak and Fields, because Fields had such a great season last year. And I feel like, he can really show his passing game this season, like you were talking about
Yep.
last week. I feel like he's going to be able to show a little bit more of what he can do. Dak, I feel like, kind of like you were starting to say, he just gets too much hate. He's not a bad quarterback whatsoever. I don't know where people are coming up with this idea. I think it's just the fact of the history that the Cowboys have had in quarterbacks, and people are just like, oh, yeah, this is just another Cowboys quarterback. They can't do nothing. Like, bro, the Cowboys team is pretty stacked. Like,
Yeah, I mean-
y'all could easily go to the championship if, everything ties together. But, yeah. And then 10 is Kyler. But, I mean, he's injured. He'll be out the first, 10 games or something, 6 games, something crazy. It's just, everybody's kind of, hey, that ain't even biased. If it was biased, I'd put Kyler up in top 5 because, I mean, that man, he has shown he can throw the deep ball. He has shown he can run the ball. He has shown he can make improvisations whenever it's necessary. I mean, his first 2 years were just amazing. They were great years for a quarterback that young. And so I think people just hate on him too much, and I can understand why a little bit with some of the way he acts sometimes, but I don't know. That's just my top 10. I feel like Kyler's up there, and I know everybody else is going to disagree, but hey, face it.
All right, so out of the whole list, I think there was two that he had on there that I don't have on here. So I'll start with honorable mentions. Yep. So Tua is on my honorable mentions. Kirk Cousins, Jared Goff, Justin Fields. Now, you may be wondering who I got on the list, and I think all these guys deserve to be on the list. And there's one that Dallas didn't put on the list that is crazy to me. Now, he did have sort of a down year, and went and had some ayahuasca. So, Aaron Rodgers, how was he not on your list?
I forgot about A-Rod.
I don't.
Oh,
I don't know. There's gonna be some people screaming at you.
Yeah, they're gonna be a little mad. That's crazy.
Yeah, and I low key forgot about him while he was talking. I was like, yeah, maybe that's my 4, that's my 5. But number 1, Mahomes. If you argue anybody else, then I don't see it. I really don't see anybody on his level at all. Number 2, Josh Allen. I think he had Josh Allen at 3, or you had Jalen then Josh, didn't you?
Yeah, Jalen and Josh. Yeah.
Josh Allen at 2. I think he's a gunslinger. Like he said, he can run. He can run well. He wants to run through you, and like Dallas was saying, he'll do anything he has to do to get to score the football. Mm-hmm. And we've seen it time and time again. I mean, he'll take people into the end zone with him. So, I just think he's a level above a lot of these quarterbacks too. Hopefully him and Diggs can, work everything out and they stay together, because that duo is insane. Not really much else to say. Just a really good quarterback, can throw it wherever you need it. So moving on, Lamar Jackson is my 3. What he can do on the ground. We saw him win the MVP and put up crazy passing numbers, passing touchdowns. So if you say he can't pass, he's already proven he can. So I don't know where that debate. There's not even a debate really. Just get him some weapons, like he kind of has now. Odell. You can say Zay Flowers, blah blah. It's going to take him a little bit to develop, so we can't really jump the gun and say, he's got weapons now, because sure Odell has proven himself, time and time again, but we don't really know the rest of that receiver core. We don't know how good they're going to be, but he's got a number 1 target now. Moving on, Justin Herbert is my 4. Over Joe, over Jalen, over Rodgers right now. I got Herbert. I think the potential is through the roof. He can be just as good as Allen, just as good as maybe even Mahomes. He might even have better arm talent than Mahomes, or right up there with him. As far as the throw power, all that, he's got it all. He can throw sidearm too. He just, like he said, he needs weapons that are healthy, for one. They need to extend Austin Eckler, because, like I said, rushing and receiving, Eckler was doing it all. He might have been their number 1 receiver, or number 2 as far as receiving yards go. So definitely need to bring him back. I don't know if he'll be in, where are they? Are they in Los Angeles right now?
Who?
The Chargers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if Herbert's going to stay there long, because I just don't think they got their ducks in a row. So moving on, Aaron Rodgers is my 5. Obviously, he did have a down year, which I predicted before the season. Nobody knows that, because I didn't, say anything about it. But I predicted he was going to have, kind of a bad year. But talent-wise, obviously, he's up here with all these guys. He's a great. Can't deny it. I don't know if he's going to get back to that MVP level with the Jets, but he does have talent around him, so we'll see what he can do with the team. I definitely think they're in better shape than the Packers are now, obviously. But I don't know. I just can't put any of these guys over him, even though they might have had a better season than him. Obviously, Jalen had a better season. Burrow probably had a better season, but I just can't put him over. I can't put these guys over him yet. Jalen is my 6. Now, I didn't even want to put him over Burrow, but I did. Y'all can call me a hater. I liked Jalen when he was bad. All right, I liked Jalen when he was bad, and I thought everyone was being too hard on him. And now it's like everyone's just glorifying him. So I think he's good. I think he had a really good year. I think obviously he had the best defense in the NFL, probably the best line, one of the best duos, tight ends and receivers. So obviously he had the weapons to get it done, but do it again. All right, do something. Not make it to the Super Bowl again. Not even even if you lose in the first round, just make it to the playoffs again. Have a good regular season, and then maybe I can put you over some of these other guys. But just a year prior, he wasn't playing good. He was not. So say what you want, but I got to put him at 6, because he's only done it 1 year. So I got to see some consistency before I jump the gun on that. Burrow, I got at 7. Just kind of like a Brady-esque kind of quarterback. Like he doesn't have all the arm, strength in the world to get down the field. He doesn't have really. He's not the fastest quarterback, but he knows how to read the defense. He knows how to throw it into tight windows and motion people around. He knows how to run the offense, and that's all the Bengals need. So the fact that he can get it done, get yards, score the ball without being able to stretch the field as much as these other guys, I think it's just a testament. So I got him at 7 over Lawrence. Lawrence is my 8. Like Dallas is saying, he's got a lot of potential. I think he showed it last year that he's progressing along. They made it to the playoffs and got blown out, I think. But I mean, most of the I don't know if that was 7th seed. I don't know what seed that was or whatever. But I mean, most of the teams were getting blown out. The first round is kind of a wash. Most of the higher seed teams are going to win. So, I mean, I think he has potential to be a top 5 quarterback. So he's got weapons now. Calvin Ridley, obviously on the Jaguars now. I think he's going to have a good year. Obviously, he had a whole year to rest from the whole, gambling situation. So he's got weapons now. So I'm excited to see what he's going to do. And moving on from that, I got Murray at 9 over Dak, over a lot of these quarterbacks. Just ground game, he can run. I think he's just as good as Jalen on the ground, maybe even better. He does have, I think he's got a stronger arm than Jalen. Now, Madden, I don't know what they've been doing. Like when he came in the league, they had him like 92 throw power, 93 or something, and now they got him at like 88. Like he didn't just lose the arm strength. How are we regressing here? It makes no sense. But I think he's got a cannon. He can move around the pocket. Obviously, he's undersized. I think he's even shorter than Russell Wilson. So, that's tough. That's tough to deal with, but you can still get it done. We've seen it before. And I'd rather have him. I mean, if I could have him over Dak or over Kurt or Justin, I wouldn't mind Kyler. I wanted Kyler when, they were kind of putting his name in the trade talks. So, and I think there was actually something that came out that we asked the Cardinals about Kyler or something at some point. It wasn't a big rumor. It was like one post that I saw about it a while ago, but I wouldn't mind having Kyler. I wouldn't mind having Dak either. Both of these guys get a ton of hate. And obviously Dak is on the Cowboys, so all the eyes are on him. A lot of people watch the Cowboys. Everybody wants to see everybody don't want to see the Cowboys win, but the people that like the Cowboys want to see the Cowboys win. So obviously he's going to have a lot of pressure on him, but I don't know. I think it's like the Ben Simmons effect, like just all the trash talk going his way. It's kind of getting to him, I feel like. He's had some good seasons. He's had some bad seasons. Obviously they made it to the playoffs a couple times and just couldn't get the job done. So I don't know. I don't feel like they need anything else offensively or defensively. They just gotta put it all together and figure out what's the best way to how to make it easier on Dak. So I don't know. I think a lot of the interceptions he had last year were flukes. Balls getting batted up and people running the wrong routes or everybody not being on the same page. Obviously, he had the foot injury or something, I think, that was bothering him through the season, and he missed 4 or so games. I think they had Cooper Rush playing a couple games. So
yeah, it was near the start of the season. They had Cooper Rush.
I mean, it's kind of hard to get your rhythm coming in like that. So I think he's getting a lot of disrespect, and that's my top 10. Like I said, I don't think Kirk would break the top 10 or Goff, but I wanted to mention them. Justin, I could see you putting 10 or 2 at 10, but it's hard for me to put him over Murray or Dak. Justin played good, but it's because he had no one else he had no other weapons. I mean, he had to do it all himself. I think he threw for like 2,000 yards and ran for like 1,000. So he had a really good season just stat-wise, but I mean, the team was piss poor. So that's it for quarterbacks. We're moving on to award winners. I'll let you go first again.
You go hate my MVP. When I say this, y'all are gonna see his eyes flame up. Cause could you guess who it is?
If it's Jalen, I'm walking out. What?
I just genuinely feel if listen.
He had no one expected him to have the year that he had.
I didn't either,
and there's no way he's doing it again.
I don't know, no way. I mean, they kept basically the whole team except the running back. I mean, I don't even know why they gave him up, but it's just that team was so good last year as a team already. As far as MVP, most valuable player, I feel like he just connects the whole team around. Like I was saying, I mean, now if we're really digging deep into it, if we put someone like Justin Herbert in there,
I'm fine with that. I would be way more fine with that.
I'm
But the team, yeah.
I'm trying to think of how that team would strive, and I feel like they would strive the same way. But I feel like statistical wise, and I'm not a big stats guy. I don't. That's why when y'all see this over and under, shoot, that ain't got nothing to do with me. Hey, bro, I'm not a stats guy. But I feel like statistical wise, if you put Jalen in that system and you put Justin in that system, even though I have high praise for Justin, I feel real good about Justin. I just feel like Jalen's going to get more yards rushing and passing.
Definitely.
So it's just like, I don't know. I feel like Jalen's going to be an MVP this season. He played great last season. I mean, you could have thrown him up there for MVP last season too. I mean, like you said, nobody expected him to play good. I mean, nobody really expected Tua to play good until Tyreek came. So it's just like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Even with Tyreek coming, people still didn't expect Tua to play good, and he did. So it's just like, I don't know. I feel like Jalen could do it again. I mean, it's the same exact thing. I'm trying to remember. They either got a way easier schedule this year or a way harder, and I can't remember which one they got. I think it was a way.
I think they had a harder schedule.
Yeah,
they had a
way harder.
really, really, really easy schedule.
Oh,
Which
yeah.
They made it far. I mean, they had to play tough people in the playoffs, so you can't say they didn't, they weren't good because, they proved it in the playoffs. They beat some good teams. Let's keep it real. Actually, I take back everything I just said. They had the easiest schedule and probably the easiest playoff schedule out of anybody. I mean, they played the Niners with no quarterback to get there. So,
Brock wasn't bad, though.
I mean, they had a cakewalk, but obviously they proved it in the Super Bowl that they deserve to be there. So I can't. They definitely had the easiest road, but they proved they deserve to be there.
Yeah. I could say they had an easy schedule. Obviously, I think it's a way harder schedule. I can't remember which one it was, but if it's a way harder schedule, then we'll see what Jalen's really made of.
All right, you do your MVP, then I'll do mine.
Okay, bet.
That
All
way,
right,
that way you're not. Yeah. All right, so mine is Mahomes. I mean, that's the cheap answer, I would say. A lot of people are going to pick Mahomes, but I mean, we saw him without any weapons besides Kelsey, and he played just as good as he did with Tyreek. Maybe not all the way, as good with Tyreek, but he proved that he didn't need, superstar receivers to get it done. So we'll see what he can do this year, but I don't see him dropping off much. Hopefully, he doesn't get injured. Obviously, he had some foot issues going on. He was limping through the playoffs. So I'm going to go with Mahomes again, though. I don't see any of these quarterbacks being better than him, but we'll see.
Yeah, I feel like Mahomes is a good pick. Mahomes is one of the people I could see winning MVP because, I mean, let's be realistic. Most of the time, MVP is going towards a quarterback or something like that. So you're going to have to put a top quarterback in there at some point.
Yeah.
But I just couldn't see any, other than Josh Allen, I couldn't see any other player winning MVP this season. Maybe Lamar if that wide receiver group does great. But if it doesn't, I don't know. But then Offensive Player of the Year. All right. So I got two different answers for this. All right. Well, really three. So one.
Really 10.
One. The biggest for the first two is if Tua comes back and plays the same exact way. If Tua comes back, plays the same exact way, I'm feeling like Tyreek or Waddle, depending on Tyreek's situation with him getting arrested or whatever is going on with him right now. Apparently, he's getting arrested for hitting a man at some place.
Yeah,
I don't
know.
something crazy. Always something crazy with these people. But, yeah, it's just, I don't know. I feel like Hill could be one or Waddle could be one just because they both played great last season, even, without Tua. So, I mean, with Tua and how with Tua was playing, I feel like either one of them could be it. But if we're counting Tua out and counting Tyreek out, then I'm honestly going to say Christian McCaffrey. I could see him because, I mean, when he was when last season with his start at the Panthers, it wasn't looking too hot. Like, he wasn't dog garbage, but it wasn't looking, it it wasn't looking as good as Christian McCaffrey is. And then he went to the 49ers, and it was like this man just exploded with that team. Like, it was just instant. Like, he just caught fire, and he didn't stop. So I feel like Christian McCaffrey could be a great choice for Offensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, that's a good pick if he stays healthy. I don't. We still don't know if he was with the Panthers and he didn't play because he was injured, or he wasn't playing because he didn't want to play for him. He was trying to get traded. So who knows? But if he can stay healthy, yeah. I mean, receiving and rushing. I mean, if you can do both, I mean, that's going to win you an award because they want you to be versatile. So that's a good shout. And mine is kind of like comeback player of the year, offensive player of the year. Honestly, Jonathan Taylor, rookie year, amazing. Obviously had some injuries last year that kind of derailed the season. Didn't get to play much at all. I don't even know if he played more than 5 games. So obviously, I think he had 1,800 yards or something crazy. So I think he can do it again and maybe even get more touchdowns this time. So that's my shot in the dark for Offensive Player of the Year. It's a long shot, don't get me wrong. I mean, coming back from an injury, a lot of guys aren't the same, but it wasn't an ACL or anything. I think it was something minor, not minor, but not as bad as the ACL, but not like spraining or something. So I think he can come back and still be really good. Colts really don't have any hope of being good next year, I guess, in my opinion. So they're going to feed him, I feel like. So I think he's going to get a ton of carries, ton of yards, and I think he can win Offensive Player of the Year.
You know who I'm hoping will come back truly, because he was such a great receiver, and then he got hurt and literally fell off for like 3 years. Michael Thomas. I know he came back last year.
I thought you were sentence. Okay, go ahead.
I know he came back last year, but literally I think he only played a few games, and I mean he didn't do bad, but he was like a wide receiver too, basically. And so it's just like, I hope he comes back this year and he just goes crazy. But Defensive Player of the Year. The man that deserved it last season over anybody at all. And he will. I'm calling bank. He will get it this season. Micah Parsons. He deserves it. And I ain't even gotta watch the games this season. I'll go ahead and tell you he gonna deserve it. Because that man is a ruthless dog. He doesn't care about nobody in front of him.
Your job's getting to the quarterback, so Nick Bosa did it better.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they all 3 of them played great last season. I like Michael Parsons. Like, it ain't like I'm a fan of his, but I like
him too. Yeah.
So I kind of hope he wins it this season. I mean, it's just a kind of prediction, you know what I mean?
All right, mine's T.J. Watt. Obviously, like I said, I was thinking of the year before, not this year, when I was kind of telling him, no, TJ should have won it. That was the year before. I'm pretty sure they gave it to Donald, and TJ had more sacks and more tackles for loss, I want to say, than Donald, and they gave it to Aaron. Not that Aaron isn't a more, what's the word? He's probably, like, if you had TJ Watt and Aaron Donald on the same team, they're probably more worried about Donald than they are TJ, just because he can move inside and outside. But TJ kind of, I think he had an injury last year. I think that's why he didn't have a really good season. I don't think he got to play all the games. So again, another player that's kind of coming back, and I think TJ is just very talented. He's definitely top 3, maybe top 5 rushers, edge rushers. So I got TJ winning it.
Yeah, I ain't too mad about that. I ain't too mad. I don't know if he'll have a better season than Micah, but I ain't too mad. Oh, wait, what am I going to? Oh, yeah.
Offensive. Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Defensive Rookie of the Year, I went with a safe bet. You know what I mean? Kind of like, all right, so the college football thing, like I've been telling D, all right, I watch SEC. I watch some schools outside of SEC, like, the big schools like Ohio State. But, bruh, there's too many football teams to sit there and watch every single college game. So I know, some of the big stars. I know some of the big news. But, I'm not going to come in here and tell you I know every single college football player of all time. But I'm going with the safe bet because I did watch some of the Bama games. I'm taking Will Anderson because, that man is a threat. Realistically, he is a threat. I feel like, I know the Cardinals at one point, they were talking about getting him. I don't even think they had the chance because I think Cardinals were 3rd pick. And then Texans were 2nd. It was something like that. I don't know. But Then the Cardinals traded, blah, 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 and they ended up getting exactly what I've been saying all season. I said, get a new head coach, and when you get that first pick in the draft, when you draft him, your first round,
I'm gonna get the first pick.
get a lineman. Get a lineman, and that's exactly what they did.
Oh, yeah,
And
they
they made
need-
Kyler happy.
They need a lineman, but they need more than just one.
Yeah, but Will Anderson's my pick. I feel like he's going to
That's
do
a
great
safe
for
bet.
that Texans team.
That's probably the safest bet out of picking anyone. I'm going with the corner, Christian Gonzalez. Obviously, Sauce Gardner won it last year, played phenomenal. Kind of like with these other guys, the cornerback list, I had him kind of low. A lot of people might say, but I just want to see him do it again. Is kind of my thought process there. But I think Christian Gonzalez. A lot of people thought he was going to be the first corner drafted, and he ended up being the third. I think Devon Witherspoon and somebody else went over him. I can't remember. I looked at it a little while ago, but I'm going with cornerback. Now, obviously, a corner's got to play really, really good to win it because most of the time it's going to go to an edge rusher. But I think he's got a good chance. What do you think about offensive rookie of the year?
I got two. I got that boy Robinson for the Falcons. I got that boy Flowers for the Ravens. I feel like both of them have a chance to shine. Now, I don't know how many touches Robinson will actually end up getting. Because here's the thing. You can draft a running back. Same thing with receiver. Same thing with anything. You can draft anything and think, hey, this going to be a beast. Some players it does work out for, some it don't. I mean, it's just a whole different level. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I kind of feel like college is a little bit more competitive, but it's weird. It's like college is more competitive, but NFL is more skillful. So they have more skills in the NFL and they're faster. But in college, you're playing for that draft spot. You're playing. I don't know. It just feels more competitive. You got to earn that. You know what I mean? Like NFL, you kind of have to earn it, but at the same time, like for instance, like especially before NIL deals, you got to think like, Pat Mahomes with his deal, he's good. He's good right now if he breaks his leg and he's like, you know what, I'm done with football.
Yeah.
And
they're definitely more hungry. They're more hungry in the
I
in
feel like
college.
there's just a different level of competition, but I feel like NFL is a whole different level of skill, and so I don't know how well it's going to work out for him, especially with having, like I've been talking to Joey about every single time we talk about the Falcons, having 3 running backs on your team. I know he's talking about, putting Patterson as a receiver or something like
Patterson's our kick returner towards ACL, so Patterson's probably going to return kicks and probably. I mean, we had 3 running backs last year, and the third one kind of got in every now and then. It just kind of depended on, okay, if this guy's running good, we kind of ride him, through the rest of the game. We're going to stick with him, see if he can continue it. If he starts to slow down, then we bring somebody else in. That's kind of how we did it. I know we had Caleb Huntley. I don't know where he went to college, but he came in a couple times and he was like a bowling ball. And, when he was running good, he was running really good. So we'd leave him in. We'd run with him a lot. But I think it just depends what kind of run we want to do. If it's stretch, you want, Behan or Cordell out there. You don't really want Algier running stretches. So he's going to be more the inside bruiser. You can run him laterally, but a lot of these other guys are faster. So, I mean, they're just going to mix it in depending on, where they want to go with the football. So that's my opinion.
I just don't know how long Cordell's going to want to be on a team like that. You know what I mean? Because
He said he wanted to retire a Falcon.
Hey, man. You also hear what Kyrie be saying about his team?
Yeah, but
you hear what Kyrie be saying about his team? I'm going to stay here forever.
The reason why Cordell is saying that is because no other team ever gave him a chance. They always, you're just returning kicks. You're returning kicks. I mean, he's been on like 8 teams. Nobody ever let him really play running back, and we're the first team to really let him flourish, let him do what he wanted to do. And he broke out. I mean, he had, the best season of his career with us, so that's why.
But as you see with Van Fleet, anybody would do anything for a bag. I mean, you got to think.
Nobody's going to give him a bag because
he's a good
33.
Okay, yeah. He does got some age.
He's regressing, and he might be 32. I know he's around the 30. He's 30-something. So nobody's going to I mean, he might get like a 1-year rental or something after he's done, but he's kind of at the point where the injuries are going to start popping up. But I mean, he's a very versatile player. But
anyways, Zay Flowers, I feel like, here's my thing. Odell, it's just like it's just weird with Odell. Like, for instance, Odell is a perfect person to speak about on rookie seasons as a wide receiver.
Yeah.
I know he blew up because of the catch, but he still had a decent rookie season. And it's just like, you know what I mean? Like, Zay Flowers, he has Odell to come and mentor him. And then, boom.
Yeah.
This man could just blow up all of a sudden. Now, obviously, you got to learn chemistry. You got to learn all this other stuff. But ain't nobody care about none of that. I feel like this man could actually be offensive rookie of the year.
Yeah.
So,
Definitely
yeah,
got potential.
That's my pick.
I got to be biased and go with Bijan. Robinson, he's just, a lot of people think he's going to be rookie of the year. Now, I could see a lot of guys winning it over him purely because of how many running backs we have, because of the dual backfield with Algier and Robinson splitting carries. So I don't know that he's going to get 300, like all these people are going to say he's going to get. I see him kind of like getting close to the 200 range as far as carries go. I think he's going to be better than Algier. Nobody's denying that, but I still think they're going to split carries, try to keep them both fresh. There's no reason to run him into the dirt when you got two running backs that are really good. So, I mean, if he's really efficient, maybe he'll win it, even though somebody's going to have a better season, but the efficiency might help him out. But I don't know that he's going to have that many touchdowns. I feel like it just depends. If he gets the ball in his hands and he has space in the field, he's going to get it. But if we get close to the end zone, I feel like Algier's going to be the guy you want to go to. So, I don't know, but I'm going to go with him just because I'm a little biased. I'm a Falcons fan, obviously, so I got to go with him. But I think – oh, no, we're moving on to the college thing. So break this down to me real quick. Are we talking about the SEC bringing in two teams? Or are we just talking about the playoffs of – how many teams are in it now? How many teams?
There's going to be 12 teams in the playoffs. So they've added all these other teams – and a lot of people are excited for it. It's obviously going to make the playoffs more competitive. Obviously, we kind of texted about it for a minute. Obviously, there's going to be blowouts. I don't
know. I'm not really expecting it to be more. Well, you got the NIL deals that might help it, might spread the talent a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
But I just feel like the top teams are just going to be way more well coached. That, I mean, the first round of games are going to be blowouts. Yep. After that, maybe they'll be closer, but I mean the teams that are good, I feel like they're just. It's usually the offenses that are just way too good for the other team, and it's not even close. So, I mean, we saw it with TCU. I mean, they're Final Fours and they got blown out. So, what we think is going to happen when we add more teams,
Yeah.
So,
I mean, obviously it's going to be an SEC team. Probably. I mean, that's just how it is nowadays. SEC teams, that conference is just so much stronger than really any other conference you could really say. I mean, you got a few decent teams outside, but
yeah,
it's just now there are chances, kind of like March Madness, which I don't watch at all, but you hear the things, and there are chances that a team could upset another team, and I don't know, it's like that's cool and all, but as a fan, it's going to suck also, because why would I want to see a team like, I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think. Why would I want to see just some trash team come in?
Why would we want to see Kentucky? No,
why would I want to see some trash team come in and beat, like, Georgia in the first round when we all know, like, Georgia's going to have a good year this year. They're not really playing a horribly tough schedule. They're playing, pretty easy people. And then I think they have one or two decent games to play. But, yeah, I mean, why would I want to see them play, great all season, and then, boom, when playoff comes, it's just, a bad day for the Kirby or a bad day for any of the
this
players.
is way more chances for people to get injured, and it just, it ruined the whole season. So, I don't know how I feel about it, but.
Yeah, I mean, there's good, there's pros, there's cons. I mean, obviously, like I was saying, it adds more kind of competition to it. It adds more games to watch, but like he's saying, it does add more tiring to the players. It does add more.
You got to have like first or top four teams get a bye or something like that.
Yeah, you have to have something, because I mean, like I said, it could just be a bad day, which I understand that's how playoffs are. But at the same time, nobody wants to watch that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't want to watch some crazy. I don't want to watch TCU in the Final Four. I'm sorry. That's not something I
mean,
want
it's
to watch.
good. I mean, it's good because like Tennessee, give them a chance. Like maybe they beat a couple teams and they get to play Alabama and they end up being better than Alabama. They
Yeah.
beat Alabama or something like. I mean, it gives another chance for an SEC team, to go in there and have a chance to play Alabama or have a chance to play Georgia. And anybody, I mean, sure, you can go in saying, all right, Georgia beat them in the regular season or something, but you never know with these SEC teams who can get hot. So, I mean, they could be, middle of the pack record and still have a chance to win a game. So
Yeah, especially Tennessee with them going crazy like they did last year. Nobody's seen it. Hooker came through out of nowhere and was just like, "Hey, boys." I mean, Tennessee went crazy that whole year. They beat Alabama, I think, and then I'm trying to remember. No, yeah, they beat Alabama and LSU beat Alabama. That's what I was thinking about. But yeah, I mean, they played good last year. I don't know if they're gonna keep it up, but hopefully. I mean, I like seeing the comp. You know what I mean? I like talking. I like talking the smack. But yeah, I mean, it's good. It's bad. It has its pros and cons.
All right, that's it for the football talk. We're moving on to NBA. We kind of started with NFL this time because there was more to talk about. But we got Grant Williams sign and trade. There was a lot of talks of him going to Mavs or going to the Hawks or whatever. But we got Grant Williams sign and trade going to the Mavs. Spurs get Reggie Bullock and a first, and Celtics get a couple second-round picks. So, I mean, the Celtics couldn't have really afford to sign him and keep him around, so they had to trade him. They didn't want to get nothing for him, so it's a sign and trade. That way, the Spurs guarantee they get him. And I mean, not Spurs. Mavs guarantee they get him. My bad. Bullock, kind of a 3-and-D player. Obviously, he's kind of been around the league. I think he was on the Lakers. I don't know if he was on the Lakers the year they won it, but I know they brought him in thinking, he could help them at some point. So, I mean, Celtics get some picks out of it. Spurs get, a 3-and-D piece. They're not. I mean, they got Wemby now, so we'll see what they do. But it's obviously going to take them another year or two to find other players to fit around him. So, I mean, all in all, I think a good deal for all sides. Celtics get something out of him and not let him go for free. So, I think it's a decent deal, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like it sucks for the Celtics no matter what because you're like I think it was 2 weeks ago when we were talking about Kristaps the very first time, and it's like. You just don't want to give up too much of your bench. You don't want to give up too much, depth in the whole team. I know, you're looking at, let's have superstars on our team and then don't even worry about our bench.
Yeah, I mean, that's cool. Why they made it so far because their second unit was so explosive.
And they're starting to get rid of them with all these trades. But, hey, at the end of the day, you had to get rid of them. For the Mavs, it was great. I think they said something about Luka is happy about the signing, or they think Luka's going to be happy about the signing. So, hey,
yeah, he can play power forward. He's good.
Yeah, good stuff for Luka. For the Spurs, I mean, I feel like they're just taking shots wherever they can. They're
just trying to get draft picks, and that's why they jumped in there.
Yeah, I feel like they're just trying to get what they can. That way they can. I feel like they're gonna kind of like you said, just take Wemby, do this first year with it, and obviously they're not winning no chip, but. Yeah. Take Wemby, do the first year, see what he needs around him, not kind of like what LeBron did, but how LeBron, went back to the Cavs, he played, and then he was like, oh, we need to pick up. He picked up so many people. I think he picked up JR. I know he picked up like D Rose.
I think they had Korver around that time, I think.
Yeah, they were picking up crazy people because he was like, we need this for this specific situation. And I feel like that's kind of what the Spurs are kind of trying to do, just build around them, and that's exactly what they need to do. I mean, that's their only kind of hope for this team.
Man, all right, moving on, I guess. The last topic of the day should be a quick one. DeJounte Murray, 4 years, $120 million. It's a good deal. I mean, we see the point guard market. Van Fleet, I think 3 years, got like 3 years, like $150 million or something. So as far as the money over 4 years, it was a good deal. I mean, like I said, the point guard market, they were getting a lot of money. So to get somebody like Murray who plays both sides, plays defense and offense at a high level, you can't really find that. I mean, LaMelo's getting a big contract, Halliburton, and these guys aren't the as good as defenders as Murray is. So, I mean, to lock somebody up like that can, like I said, play on both sides of the ball, great deal, in my opinion.
Yeah, I feel like it was a good deal. That's one I'm not mad about at all. Clearly, they know what they're doing with their team. Clearly, I guess they don't have no intentions on trading Trey or anything like that. I guess. Yeah, I feel like at this point, this is kind of like they go to their star player, which is Trey, and they're like, "Hey,
Yeah,
so
that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, they said they weren't going to trade Trey. Trey's bringing in the money, from fans, ticket sales and stuff like that. So I mean, I see them going to Trey and be like, do we want to extend him or what? You know?
So, I mean, as long as he's happy, I don't want to see Trey go to any other team. I mean, I don't mean to bring this up because I brought it up the past, 3 podcasts, but I am tired of Damian Lillard. All right? This whole hibachi of his
agent. I wasn't
agent.
even going to bring it up. Bro, I swear that all this news coming out is people just rumors. Like, these people these reporters are just pulling this information out of where. Like I don't know. I don't think half of it's true, to be honest.
When 6 different reporters are literally saying, "Hey, his agent is saying, if you trade for him, you're gonna get an unhappy player. Blah blah blah. He ain't even gonna play. He ain't even gonna do nothing." Like, bro,
Trey. They were coming out with all these rumors about Trey, coach killer. The coaches didn't like him. He didn't like the coaches, and then he goes on the podcast and talks about how they had good relationships. Like, their schemes didn't fit and didn't line up. And McMillan knew that he was probably somewhere going out the door, and the whole situation with him not flying home with the team one of the playoff games, and it was because I think his wife was having the kid and COVID was going around, so he wanted them to come to the game, but he didn't want to let them. He didn't want to. He got a private jet to fly them there and back from Dallas or where, I don't know where they were at. Oh wait, that was playoffs, so it wouldn't have been Dallas, but. He was saying, he didn't handle that situation right. He should have made sure his team knew why he was flying home without them and stuff. So, I mean, people just they take the littlest things and then run with it. So, sure, some of it might be true. He might have told them he only wants to go to Miami. But I was listening to Skip today, and he was saying maybe he doesn't really want to leave Portland, and that's why he's saying he only wants to go to Miami. That way, people can't say that. He went his whole career and never won a chip because he never wanted to leave or he never tried to go to a different team. So he's trying to force their hand. If he has to leave, then he only wants to go to Miami. But if it doesn't work out, I don't think he cares staying in Portland. I think is what it boils down to.
I just think it's ridiculous all around. All around. I mean, he's a little crybaby. He wants to sit here. Oh, I don't want to go nowhere but Miami. But bro, get out of here with that. I don't even think Miami's going to be that good this year.
I don't either.
I really don't. I feel like they had a good season. They had a great postseason. But bro, like he's talking about with Jalen. I mean, flukes are flukes. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, Jimmy is him. Bam is him. But at the end of the day, you're just throwing up false hope, saying, I want to go to the Heat, thinking you're going to win a chip, because there's no other reason for you to go to the Heat other than thinking you're going to win a chip, and that's just genuine, honest. And at that point, he also talked about going to the Warriors.
Yeah,
I don't even know.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah, that would be crazy, and I think I literally would hate the Warriors for the rest of my life.
I would love it. That would be a fun team to watch.
It'd be a fun team to watch, but like, bro, KD and now him, like, bro, Warriors, bro. Earn your stuff on your own. Like that 4th title, you did that on your own, boy. Good job. Now keep doing that. But that's all I gotta say for the pod. I'm getting a little irritated about Dame.
Oh. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for episode 7 of the podcast. Make sure to check us out on any podcast platform. You can check out the video on YouTube or Spotify. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, it won't have the video, or Google Podcasts. But if you want to see the video with the podcast, go to YouTube or go to Spotify. And yeah, that's all I got. I'll catch you guys in the next one.
Deuces.